office. Some in the office deals talking about the different restaurants and different things around our area. And then later this week, I hope to get out in the field and do some shooting out there.
Okay. So you killing two birds with one stone. You trying to get stuff for your YouTube channel and stuff for your podcast and stuff for your TV show and stuff, Yeah, I hear you.
Well, I'm actually growing. I'm doing the podcast thing. What I'm doing is building my Christian side YouTube channel with a whole bunch of shorts, try to get some traction. I'll put my shows in there as
Okay.
well. And then separate is it's a DFW relocation YouTube. You're the thing you're helping me with.
Yeah.
So the nice thing about that, I've committed to doing just two a week instead of 21 a week. So, but
Yeah.
those are longer. Those are long form, and that was one of my. I don't. Even, you might have an agenda for this, and I apologize for taking over. But that was one of my questions. Was I noticed a lot of yours are your long form are pretty long. Do people expect like an hour, hour and 15 minutes, or can you do 20 minutes?
No, and I even say this, what's it? There's Toy. I expected to see him. Um,
Hey,
so, um, for lack of saying this kind of lackadaisically, a video is as long as it needs to be. I mean, seriously, I mean,
okay.
if we have put out, I have put out videos where they're an hour long, where we sat and talked about, maybe Aileen and I sitting down doing an interview with each other, going back and forth, talking about the best places, because we don't agree on everything. And that's part of the intrigue of the channel is we sit there and
Sure.
go back and forth as to who has the best cheeseburger in town or who has the best pizza in town or whatever. And so we did a lot of those in one day where we sat down and we named out the top. We just literally sat there and said, okay, I'm going to get my top 10 list. You get your top 10 list. Let's just turn the camera on and talk about it. And that's what we did. So we did those where kind of like what you said you did today, where you knocked out 21 videos. We sat and knocked out about, eight or nine videos in one day, just talking about our favorite places to eat. And then I scheduled those, out on the channel, and they've been some of our more popular videos, believe it or not.
Yeah,
Um,
I've watched several of them. They're very good.
yeah, the one with the seafood has
Yeah.
almost 50,000 views,
Yeah,
so
that was a great that was your big one. I saw the number on that. Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. And then, then the one with the best cheeseburger, I think the best breakfast one now is like at 10,000 views or something, so you know, like I said, it is, it's just one of those things where a video just needs to be as long as a video needs to be. I mean, if you've got something to say and it resonates with your viewers and it will keep people interested, then I don't really care. I don't care if the video is 2 hours long. They'll
Okay.
watch it as long as you've got something to say, as long as it's interesting. So yeah, or if it's a short video now. And then here goes along the lines of if you are concerned with the video being monetized or not. If you're looking to make money from YouTube, then it has to be over 8 minutes long. So once you get to I think it's 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours on your channel, you can monetize and where they'll
Hmm.
start paying you for the advertisements. YouTube's going to advertise on your videos whether you like it or not. So
Right.
they're going to advertise on it. Now, whether you get paid on those advertisements is up to you. So if you get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, you can start getting paid on it. Now, we don't get paid that much money. I mean, we're probably making somewhere close to $200 a month, maybe, off of the ad revenue. But so we use that. I just kind of stick it in a slush fund. And if we want to buy a new camera or something for the channel, then I go buy a new camera. It's not, we don't consider it income, so now, if we ever get up to, 40 or 50,000 subscribers and there's 1,000 or $2,000 a month rolling in, we might look at it different. But, right now, It's just a means to generate leads. That's all we're trying to do. We want the phone to ring, which,
You're
just
saying
not,
that every minute has to, all the videos has to be 8 minutes each one for it to
yeah.
get.
No, not each
So,
one. It's just if that individual video, if you want to earn AdSense off of that video, then it has to be over 8 minutes.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
That
and
specific video.
yeah,
Okay.
and they don't pay you a lot for shorts. I mean, short videos, even if it gets 1 million views, you get like it's not even 1 cent a view. It's like less than a cent a view. So if you even had a short that had 1 million views on it, you're not going to get paid much money for a short. So the longer videos are where it's at as far as AdSense goes. But again, we don't look at it for the AdSense. We just put the content out, and if it's good, it's good. If it's, I mean, if it's not, it's not. I'm not one of those believers who say that you should just put a video just to be putting a video either. You got to have something interesting to say. So, um, and I had to get, when I first started, we had to get our mindset around the fact that we had to stop thinking like a realtor and start thinking like a marketer. So we
Uh,
had to start thinking of, if you were going to move to this area, what would you need to know? So that's what we started doing videos on. So believe it or not, we've done videos where we're showing people where a good family practice doctor is, because that's what you'll need to know when you move here, is where's the best doctor.
so you can do that kind of like even doctors, you can do all that in your studio, or do you have to actually be there? Can you do it in the studio and just put in pictures?
You could. You
Yeah,
could. I like it on location only because it keeps people interested. It shows them where it's at, the traffic
yeah.
around, things that you can't see on a map. Um,
S-
so
So the ones you did in studio, those were mostly about restaurants
yeah, where
as
we're
far
just sitting there talking, and then we might
yeah,
have some B-roll footage, or either just flash up
yeah,
some pictures of it, or
gotcha.
or I might do a Google map and show exactly where it's at, in relatively close to this or that, where people know, because you got landmarks in your town where everybody, even if they've never heard of it, they're going to know, like in your case, being right there in Fort Worth, everybody knows where the stockyard's at. So if you were showcasing a restaurant or a doctor's office or a neighborhood, and then you said, well, this is only 10 miles from the stockyard, then people will go, oh, okay, well, I know where the stockyard's at.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's what they want to resonate with, is they can pick out landmarks and know exactly where to go.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I thought you
so
guys, I watched two or three of your videos like that, those food ones, and they were great. So I'm going to model mine after that.
I just feel like I don't have enough content, enough stuff to talk long enough on the video. Is that just me?
you'll be surprised. I'm telling
Yeah.
you, once you get in there and you get to talking, especially, excuse me, I've got a sinus infection I'm dealing with, and so if you hear me coughing a lot, that's why. But once you get to talking, Toy, like if you, I mean, it's just like if, wherever you are, like you're in Phoenix, Arizona, right? So if I started asking you questions about Phoenix, Arizona, then you're going to start telling me stories. You're going to start telling me like something happened, like maybe you were at this restaurant one night and you had a bad experience, and you're going to tell me that story. You're going to say, oh man, don't go to that restaurant. Let me tell you why. And you're going to tell that story. Well, that's what you need to do on the video. Tell the story. So that's what sells the video, is the story. It also sells the experience of living in that area. People don't just care, where the thing is located, or if there's 25 people who gave it a 5-star review on a restaurant. They want to know, if you've had a bad experience in there, then tell it. If you had a good experience, tell it. I mean, we recently had a restaurant where we went in and had a fantastic experience, where the waiter just went out of their way. I mean, just an unbelievable experience. And that's the kind of thing people need to know. If you go here, ask for this waiter. This guy was incredible, that kind of thing. And the stories do sell. I mean, the stories will make people watch your videos longer. It'll make them engage more, to start asking questions, which is, what you want. You want engagement on your channel.
Very good.
So, Tom, did I hear you just did 21 videos?
I did 21, actually 42 shorts for
Oh,
another project I'm doing. Uh, and I'm doing this week, I'm going to try to do four, maybe eight long form for the real estate. So that's why I'm on this call today,
are
getting
you
this.
editing yourself, or who do you have it doing
Yeah, right
all
now
those
I'm editing
edits?
my, I like to touch everything and make sure I know how it works,
That's a
and
lot of edits to
yeah,
do.
but what I find out with Adobe Premiere Pro is you can
Okay.
kind of set up a template and just plug in and
Mm,
plug your deal in and fly in your assets, and so I
gotcha.
hopefully, and I've got experience over the years as a recording engineer using Pro Tools and Final Cut and those kinds of things. So,
Cool. That's awesome.
but
You may know
ideally, yes,
more.
I'd love to hand them off to somebody else. Okay,
Yeah,
make this look good.
yeah, me too.
What?
I just
Yeah.
I haven't found anybody yet that it's it's almost like this YouTube channel has become my child. And
Right.
and it's like I don't know if I'm ready to hand my child over to anybody yet. It's kind of like it's like are they going to do it the way I want it done? If I was going to add this flair in here, and I'm by no means a professional editor, but there are certain things that, I like things laid out a certain way and I like things, you know, to come across a certain way. Because when people, especially the phone calls we've gotten where people are like, you just seem like somebody I could sit down and have, a beer with and count, and watch football and have a conversation, for hours and hours and hours. And I'm like, yeah, well, that I am that person, although I don't drink, but I am that person. But, it's like, but that's what you want to come through on the video. You want people to see that so that they pick up the phone and go, he's just a good old boy, and they pick up the phone and call you, so like and not to toot our own horn, but just so you know, everybody on here doing the videos, we got 2 calls this week for listings from the YouTube channel. So it's
Nice.
starting
Nice.
to
Good job.
now it's starting to come around. Not just buyers are calling us, but listings are calling us too. We're fixing to put about 1.3 million on listings for in the next couple of weeks.
Very
So
cool.
yeah. So I mean that was incredible when the phone rang, they're like, and they said the same thing. We've been watching your videos for a year. We have a condo down there. We want to sell it. And so, and well, actually we've had 3 of those phone calls, and one, the guy owns a place in Michigan. He's going to sell his condo here in Gulf Shores and then buy a forever home in Gulf Shores. So we're going to help him do all 3.
Sweet.
So yeah. So, you gotta love those phone calls.
Oh my. Absolutely. Wow.
So does anybody have any wins they want to talk about, or any questions they got, or anything they need help with, or
Go ahead, Tom.
Oh, I'm excited. I as soon as I signed up for this deal, we went out of the country for a week, so I get a later start than I'd hoped. Went down to Mexico, but we I'm like I said, I'm starting this week on all my videos, and I've been watching, Andy's and how they interacted. I'm thinking about my wife is a lender, 36 years in the business, and I'm thinking about having her get on with me and even talk about lending and because she'll steal the show. She's so beautiful. So, but the way you guys interacted on your videos, that really I think keeps things moving and gets people thinking. I really love the way you did that. So I'm gonna try to figure out a way to do that.
well, yeah,
Uh,
the thing is with Aileen and I, we've known each other for about 25 years. And
oh yeah.
so, and we have never agreed on anything, I don't think. And so that's the dynamic to it there going back and forth. is that we just literally sit there and have a conversation. I mean, it's
Love it.
like the camera's not even there. I mean, we say our little intro and then we start talking about, because if you watched them, you'll see that there's some of them in there where, we're talking about the best cheeseburger, and I start talking about the place has really good pizza, and then Aileen will go, "We're not talking about pizza. We're talking about cheeseburgers," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Well, I know, but I'm just telling you, it's got good pizza." So. But it's that back and forth that people just seem to love. And I think it'd be great with your wife on there, especially. And I'll tell you something else, once you do start building an audience, I would do like a live podcast on your YouTube channel with her, and I would advertise it for like 2 weeks before and say you're going to have a lender on the program to answer questions directly from your audience, directly from the people on the channel, and then have them get on there and ask her questions
Oh, I like
about
that.
the lending process and record it while it's going on, and then you just use it, and you could, if you wanted to do shorts on your on your channel, you could cut that up into shorts. um
Oh, yeah.
you know
I'm taking notes. So I'm not being rude. I'm
no, yeah,
writing as
absolutely.
fast as I can here.
Well, this will be recorded, so you can always watch it back.
Oh, yeah. Good. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
So Andy, the domain that we were working on, living in Phoenix, AZ, but we're gonna use the same channel name, even though other channels have the one that's living in Phoenix, Arizona, but there's no living in Phoenix, AZ. But the domain is not available. So you had said put the best in parentheses.
Yeah, and what do you mean the domain's not available? You're talking about as far as a website?
Yeah, the domain. So if you're gonna lead people to your thing, you need to have the same domain name and the same support name and everything.
Yeah, so let me tell you, ours wasn't available either. So living in, or excuse me, Orange Beach, Alabama living, we have that, but then I also have another site where, so I've just got call AOF. So if you'll look up call, um, what is yours? Living in Phoenix AZ. So do look up the domain call living in Phoenix AZ or living Phoenix AZ, whatever it is, or even inebriated or abbreviated or whatever you could, just some form of there, but use the words call, and I think you'll probably find that it's available, and it's probably
So
available in the .com.
call livinginphoenixaz.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that'll
Because
get you what. Now, let me show you. Let me hold on. I'll show you what ours kind of looks like.
because I was also thinking like living in Phoenix AZ the best.com. Because if we're gonna put the
Yeah,
best,
you can do that.
yeah.
Let's
And
see.
then and then like I'm starting to see a lot of ads and a lot of other channels, and like you said, if you go in one name, one brand, go all in with all of them. So I'll change my Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and whatnot,
Yep.
and LinkedIn as well.
I put in the chat. See that
Call Oba
that link
Living,
right there?
Call OBA Living.
Yeah. Now, when you click on that, that is it. It redirects you to a buyer's questionnaire, or buyer's or seller's questionnaire, and we have that hooked into Go High Level into a CRM. So if they go in there and click, I'd like to buy or I'd like to sell, they fill out a form, and then they come directly to us as a lead. So all that's connected, within the back end of Go High Level, which is something we intend to do training on. It's just that it is so intense. I mean, Go High Level is not an easy system to learn.
Yeah.
So that's down the road. That's a future thing. But I mean, for right now, if you wanted just to collect leads and have them call you or set up a call like a Calendly, or just to jump into your calendar and schedule a call with you, a Zoom call or a phone call or whatever, that's the easiest way. And then you just collect their information once you get them on the phone. We do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to figure out how you do your Zoom link on your channel. Do you just set up your own Zoom
Yeah.
number or something? Okay. I've never tried that.
Do you have a YouTube channel yet, Tom?
Yes.
You do. Is it the what you're doing with real estate?
Yeah, I've got several actually. The real estate one is called DFW relocation, which Andy, we looked that up and it got a billion, it got quite a few
Yeah.
searches. So DFW
Really?
means Dallas Fort Worth. So the way I'll open my videos is so you're looking to move to relocate to Dallas Fort Worth and surrounding areas, uh, and then direct them to the YouTube channel.
Well, show
Yeah.
me.
I think
Check out your channel, Tom.
we had
Sorry?
looked up
Post it. I'd love to see it.
yeah,
Yeah.
we looked up Toy, just so you know, we looked up Tom's, we looked up Dallas Fort Worth, we looked up living in, we looked up life, we looked up the whole nine yards. And then I said, well, what about people relocating? Let's just look up relo. So we looked up DFW relocation. It had, what did it have? Like
Huge. I mean,
300 million searches in a
yeah,
month.
just it's like what
Oh,
everybody's
crap.
searching for. So,
Yeah.
so that's what we're hoping that'll
That's
how
better.
do you
That's better than my 4 million for Phoenix.
Yeah.
yeah, right. How does so how do I give out like if I wanted to tell him right now how to get to my YouTube channel?
Right in the chat comment right there, Tom.
But yeah,
That'd
what
be
I
the
realize
easiest.
is though if I just put in DFW relocation, it doesn't come up. So I have to actually put in my, the 7BF that whole
The
string.
link.
Yeah.
Copy
It
the
will
link.
eventually. It just
Oh,
isn't. Yeah. It isn't right now because you haven't had enough traffic to it.
exactly, right.
I kind of want to get on my tube butter right now just to check out Phoenix AZ relocation. See what that's gonna
Hey,
say.
that's a good idea.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Um, Tim, you had a question? Hey, Tim, we can't hear you.
He raised his hand and
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I'm in the airport trying to be quiet. I just want to remind you, I don't think it matters what your channel's name, so don't take this wrong. But when you do your intro video, don't just say relocating, because
Mhm.
you also want to capture people that are moving within your city. And if you only talk about relocation, people could start to think, well, this is only for people moving in from out of town. So be cognizant of that as you do your intro minimally, I would say.
Yeah, good point. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I do think in the beginning of it though is what your idea there is probably pretty good because when you're a fresh channel, when you're a brand new channel, the only way that YouTube's algorithm is going to learn what your channel is about and who your target audience is by what the content of your video is. That's the reason we start ours the same way. We still do it. We start them the
Mhm.
same way every single time. So you're thinking about moving to Orange Beach, Alabama, or Gulf Shores, or any of the surrounding areas. And so it does target just the people wanting to move here. But then when in the body of it now, when we get to the meat of it, when we start to hit to asking people to subscribe, we also ask them to give us a call if they're because we always say whether you're thinking about moving in 9 days, 9 days, 90 days, or 9 months, please reach out to us. And then we also say, and hey, if you live here and you're thinking about selling your condo or house too, we do that too. And so we let them know right there in the subscribe and call us part.
Yeah, so you
Um,
cover all the bases.
yeah, we try to. I mean, but once you build an audience and once you get above 1,000 subscribers, the game is going to change for you anyway, because YouTube knows who your audience is. They know who to put that video in front of. And especially with you being as big a market as you're in and Toy being in Phoenix, Arizona, that's such a big market, you have to realize that I'm speaking to you from a place that is not even on a pinhead on the
Right,
scale of where the two of you are. I mean,
right.
I only have 15,000 people that live here. That's it. 15,000 people. You probably have neighborhoods that have 15,000 people in
Oh
them.
yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, we literally don't have anybody living here, but we have to cater to investors. So we had to kind of gear our channel towards investors. And some of the other programs out there that I've learned from, like Mike Sherrard, you got like Levi Lassick who does the Living in Dallas, Texas. Some of these bigger guys. Levi's channel. When you start watching his channel, his videos are completely different from mine because he's catering to a different audience. He is catering to people who are relocating to Dallas, who are looking to move there for jobs. And by the way, you're fixing to get a lot more in your area because I saw where, Apple's fixing to build a
Apple, 500
$500
billion.
billion. Yeah.
I saw that.
I mean, holy cow. So yeah, you got a lot. You've got 40,000 new jobs fixing to come to that area.
So let me
Yeah.
ask you this, because if you guys doing search, maybe my searches are doing wrong because I put in DFW relocation and I have insufficient data
I don't know. I don't know what let's see.
on my TubeBuddy.
Yeah, we looked it up. Tom and I dove deep into this.
I think maybe just even putting just the word relocation.
No, even relocation, I only have 500 something thousand.
No,
I'm
no, I
wondering if
can't.
it's my service or whatever.
Yeah,
No,
I don't know.
DFW relocation's got 14.4 million searches just
Yeah.
in the last 30 days.
Can I share you my screen and show you mine? Because I don't have that.
Let's see. How do I get you to share the screen? I don't know how to get you to share the screen. I see I have to make you a host or something.
Oh, send a request first.
Well, down
Oh,
at the
there you
bottom,
go.
can you hit the share button down at the bottom?
He's got
Yep.
it.
Okay. Okay, sure. Okay, so right there, DFW relocation, explore.
Yeah, you got the same thing. See that 14.4 million right there
Oh, you
where it
look at the
says,
details. Oh, okay, so I'm looking at the monthly search estimate.
yeah, no, 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 no. Looking at videos and search results, and then you got, hold on a second.
Okay,
Let's see, Scott. When we looked
gotcha.
it up, relocation. Now I can't get anything to work.
Yeah, so that's 11, 12 million for Phoenix AZ relocation. Okay, so I was looking at the monthly search estimate. I thought that was the most important criteria.
Well, it is the search volume is what you're wanting to look at. And then the score, whether it's above an 80 or not, is what you're really wanting to look for to see.
I
But
haven't seen any with good score above 80.
But I'm gonna tell you, and just like Tim was just emphasizing on the fact that, the name of your channel is really not, it was when YouTube first, I would say 2 years ago, your name was a big deal. I'm gonna tell you now, your name's not really that big a deal. It's just your content. It's whether you're putting stuff out there that people are searching for,
Okay.
so there are some big channels out there that you take like what's her name? Is it Tina Call? And
Hmm.
I think the name of her channel is Tina Call. So I mean, and she didn't start out huge. So it's gotten to the point where uh she put out such interesting content and people were looking for her stuff that that she's just become searchable now. Um, and there's so many living in. I mean, it seems like everybody's doing living in here, living in there. I've got all these channels that are living in North Carolina, living in uh, Toronto, living in, I mean, they're everywhere.
What
What
about
about selling?
like what's that?
Can we put selling instead of living? Because like
Well,
I'll
but you want to have something that somebody's actually, I mean, you do want to start out with something that somebody's going to search for. I mean, like, so here's the idea behind this. if somebody goes into YouTube and they go into that search bar at the top and they type in, what is it like to live? I'm gonna in say Phoenix, Arizona. How do I spell Phoenix? Here we go. Phoenix, Arizona. And then what you want to see is what pops up. So the very first thing that pops up is a channel called Living in Phoenix, Arizona, the original. That's why I told you I would name my channel if I was you. I would name it Living in Phoenix, Arizona, and I would put in parentheses the best.
Well, like you
That's
say, if the title doesn't matter, what can
but
I just put
but
living in?
here's what I'm trying to tell you is that you naming your channel the exact same thing as that guy hasn't named. This guy has 125. Let's
Yeah,
see
I know.
how
She's
many
my direct.
subscribers.
She's killing it.
She's got 9,620 subscribers. So when she puts out a video, it gets searched. She
That's
already
because
has it on.
she's an underline of Joe Jackson. That's why
Yeah,
yeah,
right. But that's what I'm trying to tell you. So if you have another channel
do the
that
same
pops
thing.
up every single time hers pops up, then people are going to go, well, hold on, what's this? And they're going to check you out just by accident. I mean, you're going to get found by accident,
You're the
just by
best.
having
This
it.
is the original.
Yeah. So hers is the original, yours is the best. Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I told you, a couple weeks ago, that's what I would do. I would name it Living in Phoenix, Arizona. Now, I don't have that option because I'm the only one here. I'm the only one in this entire area. And if you look at Baldwin County, there's probably only two or three of us that are even doing videos at all. There's nobody around. I mean, these people are so the real estate market around here is just so I guess you could say clicky, it's like if you're not, if you don't have your name all over 25 billboards like Alexander Shannara, then they think you're not doing anything and you're a nobody. So it is what it is, you know, but um but in your area, I mean, like I said, I would find me a popular channel, and I'm gonna be so bold as to tell you that every time she put out a video, I would go in there and watch it, and I would do the exact same video.
Make it better.
Yeah, make it with your personality. I might even title it the same thing she titled it.
You're gonna be pissed at Toy
I
Truck.
mean,
At
just
least we're both in
everything she
EXP,
does.
so we're good.
Yeah. I would just copy word for word. I'd go in there and just copy everything she did because she's obviously doing something right. She's obviously been successful at it. And, but if you look back on that channel, some of the more popular videos is the guy that originally started it.
Joe.
That's the guy. He has the Living in Houston, and he's another one that I've taken his training. I went through and dissected his training, and that's where I came up with a lot of the stuff that I'm telling you now. So
He's good.
I didn't reinvent the wheel. I just kind of polished it.
We get. So we should have a list of like first 10 videos we should do. I have an idea already, but like, you know,
Well, I would start out with just like the training tells you, but I would pick my most popular neighborhood, and I would just go down the list and start doing. You might do the pros and cons of that neighborhood. You might do new construction in that neighborhood. You might tell the do's and don'ts, tell people what to stay away from. I mean, you could pick one neighborhood as big as your areas are. You could pick one neighborhood and probably do 40 videos on one neighborhood. I mean, I didn't have that luxury, because here I am in a little bitty Orange Beach, and I do have condo complexes, so I can do, different videos on each condo complex, and that's what we've done. But I don't have like Tom, where you are. I mean, we talked about this, but in the Dallas Fort Worth area, there are neighborhoods that they come in and buy the land, they throw up, 1,500 houses, and then they build a school in the neighborhood before they ever build the houses. So the neighborhood has its own school. It'll have, I mean,
Yeah.
you've got a numerous amount of videos you could do in there and just talk about the school system in Dallas. Talk about the football programs. You know, football is big. High school football is huge in Texas. And so
Yeah.
that's the kind of thing that, you think about that, somebody who lives in, say, uh, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, but they have a 17-year-old kid who they think is a phenom, but is never going to get discovered in football unless they move to someplace in Texas. They want to know where's the best place for us to move to get this kid discovered. So
South Lake Carroll.
see, there you go. Off the top of your head. But yeah, Tom, it sounds like you know more about editing than I do. So,
No, no, no. I've never used Adobe Premiere. I mean, they're all pretty much the same, I think. But uh, I did my first one. I did. It took me, a half hour to kind of work my way around. But it's really you just pull it in, pull this in, and
yeah. Well,
at
I'm gonna
first
tell
it
you the
takes some
very,
time.
very first video I ever edited, and it was horrible. And it was horrible video to begin with. But it took me from start to finish, from getting the video, uploading it into the editor, cutting it all up, deciding, blah blah blah, the whole 9 yards, putting all the back end stuff into it, loading it up into YouTube. From start to finish, it took me about 14 hours for one
Wow.
video. And I'm sitting here going, "Oh my God, I got to hire this out." And then, so now with the seamless process that I have created doing it with AI, now I can take a video in about 30 minutes. I can cut it up, get it on YouTube, the whole night, everything. I can get the whole thing done in about 30 minutes. As long as I don't change things. I'm one of those people that as soon as I get in there, I start thinking, oh, this video is terrible. I need to go redo it. So then I jump in the car and run down the road and go redo it. But if I wasn't such a critique of my own stuff, then I could probably get them done a lot faster. But it is what it is. you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, these days the quality, at least on the audio, the quality has to be pretty good. But uh, I think the ones that seems like the videos that get a lot of positive feedback are ones where they make a mistake and just keep, oh, I didn't mean that. They keep it real.
Correct.
And so, because I'm a perfectionist, and I hate watching back my stuff. But it's like, that's what I'm like probably in real life when I'm talking to somebody. So why not just present
Yeah.
that, you know?
Well, that's what I tried to tell Aileen when we're out filming. She's like, "Oh, cut that part out, or don't put that in, or whatever." And I'm like, if you were out here showing a property to a client, could you say, "Stop, I'm going to edit this. Just forget I said that."
Yeah, right.
No, you can't do it. So you
That's
might as
great.
well leave it in there, because that's what you're doing is you want to get on a human level with these people, and what you're wanting to do is basically this camera is your customer. So if they're in the room with you, you're just talking to your customer, and you're just walking through showing them what it's going to be, what their life is going to be like if they buy a house in that neighborhood. That's exactly what they want to know.
Do you go to other agents' listings that are for sale and tour those as well?
We do. Now, our laws may be a little different than yours. We have to mention the listing agent. I think in some states you don't have to. But if we go tour a property, if we advertise that property whatsoever, even if we share their listing on Facebook, we have to give them credit for the listing. So we have to name their brokerage or their name. We don't have to give away to contact them, but we
Yeah.
have to tell who it belongs to. And
Yeah, I
so
think I
we
think we
do
have to do
that.
that too. Yeah.
And we're supposed to do it in the first like 2 minutes of the video. So, we're supposed to do it right up front. Now we don't do that a lot of times. We screw that up, but we try. We try to at least mention it in the first. But if you are, and I learned this from Levi, just from some of his stuff, but if you're in Texas and you're walking around, you can walk down the street and talk about listings, and you can show pictures of that listing if you pulled it off of like Zillow or realtor.com because it's open to the public. So you can pull those pictures in and show, what it looks like on the inside without doing an actual video of the house, without doing a tour of it. And that's the way he started doing a lot of his videos in the beginning, like the start of his channel. But we can't do that. So here in Alabama, if I'm walking down the street and I say this house here is listed for $425,000, I have to tell who it's listed by. I have to give the listing agent credit. I can't just walk down the street and say, even though it's public knowledge. I mean, even though they could look it up on Zillow or they could look it up on realtor.com, I still have to tell who the listing agent is.
I know if it's EXP, I don't have to do any of that because it's EXP's listing. But if it's another brokerage, I have to get their permission. I call the agent, say, "Hey, can I advertise your listing?" As long as I have their permission in writing, then I can do it. I don't necessarily have to mention their name.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
our laws are really different. And I mean, even if it's an fellow agent with EXP, we still have to give credit to the listing agent. We still have to mention their name.
I mean,
And
it's a
that's
nice
just,
thing to do.
yeah. And that's just our funky little laws in, Baldwin County in Alabama. But I
Yeah.
mean, it's never hurt us. Nobody's ever called us up and said, or called the listing agent. So I don't know what Tim just put something in the chat. He says, remember, you want your videos to be evergreen, so you're previewing listing, making your video all about the neighborhood. Yeah, right. So yeah, I mean, like with our listings, you don't even our listings, we will necessarily talk about the listing and say this is our new listing, but yet we want to show everything that they're going to get in the neighborhood because that
Right.
listing ain't going to be, hopefully it ain't going to be there for another 30 days.
And that's how I do my listing videos. My listings, hey, I can't wait to show you this new listing, but first, and then we'll do all the stuff of the whole area. What you're moving into a lifestyle,
Yep.
not just a house, and then you walk them through the house. So I can still use that first part of the video for any house in that neighborhood or any house in that city.
Yeah. Yeah, we just recently did one that has the condo's pretty unique in the fact I think I just aired it Saturday, but the condo's pretty unique in the fact that it has not just a 3 bedroom, 2 bath condo, but it also has a captain's quarters. So it has a 50-foot boat slip. So if you have a 50
Mm.
foot boat with a captain, then you have captain's quarters for your captain to sleep, not in your condo. He can sleep in his own quarters. So it's 1.5 million on the listing, but it was pretty neat in the fact that, we showcased the condo, but then we also said, you're not going to believe this condo complex because of the pool, because of the boat slips, the location of it. We showed exactly where it's at and showed all the stuff that you get around here, and it's walking distance to this and it's walking distance to that. You're only a 2 minute drive from the actual beach, then if you do have a boat, I mean, it's literally a 2 minute jog in a boat to go through the pass to go fishing, so it's like the location of this condo is unbelievable, so I mean, I don't think that listing's going to last very long at all. And it's like, it was just an incredible condo, but Tim's right. But we showcased the neighborhood, the whole condo complex and talked about that more than we did the condo itself.
Sure, right. That's good.
Have you gotten any leads, Tom, off of Facebook? I mean, YouTube?
I'm just getting started. I
He's been
just
on
signed
vacation.
I signed up a couple weeks ago and went on vacation.
No, from your previous, you said you had channeled before.
Oh yeah, Facebook. I've gotten leads. I've never tried YouTube for real estate, but seems like everybody I talk to that does this, yeah, that YouTube's been great. Now I'll do videos. I've done videos and put them out there on Facebook, and that attracted attention and got me some buyers and sellers.
So I
Yeah,
So
don't know if you guys know Reels now on YouTube. They go up to 3 minutes. They're not 1 minute max anymore.
Right.
So I was thinking out of the box. I'm gonna start doing reels for 3
Hmm.
minutes because it's easier to digest 3 minutes than huge long videos. And like I said, you don't want to get the short reel people just keep flicking. But 3 minutes is good digestible information.
Yeah, the only reason I steered myself away from Facebook is simply because,
I mean,
you
YouTube.
know, yeah, YouTube. But the only reason I steered myself away from Facebook is because Facebook is such a well, number one, it's a social media site. It's not a search engine. YouTube is a search engine. People go in there to search. I mean, you think about it this way. If you were, let's say the alternator went out on your car and you said, well, I can't really afford to pay somebody to replace it, but I think it's got to be pretty simple, right? So what would you do? You'd go on YouTube and look up, how do I replace the alternator on a 2020 Honda Accord, whatever. And then you sit there and watch the video and you pause it and then do what they say do and then watch it some more and pause it and do what they say do and until you get it done, until you get it replaced. But that's the point, is that people are searching for stuff on YouTube the same way that they do Google. So, and the other thing is, like, to Tim's point, is that these things are evergreen, they live forever. We've got videos that are 2 years old that people still watch. That one video about the seafood, that video is almost 2 years old and people are still watching it. On average, we get about 1,000 views a month on that video and it's 2 years old.
Hmm.
So um, nobody has ever, and you've never heard of anybody. Now, I'm not downing Facebook. Facebook works, believe me, and we're putting together some Facebook training to teach people exactly how to grow leads organically and paid ads on Facebook to absolutely send your business into overdrive. But the with Facebook, especially on your feed, let's say you have 1,500 people following you on Facebook. Well, if you put a video out on Facebook, then it's 1,500 people going to see it. Pretty much that's it. Now you open it to the public, but it's not searchable. So they're not going into Facebook searching for your video or searching for whatever your video is about. And it only lives on your feed for a certain amount of time, because the next time you put another post up, it buries it and it just keeps getting buried and buried and buried and buried in your feed, unless you do boost that post and you pay to have it boosted and put out there in front of an audience to get clickbait or whatever, or to get leads. But I mean, it's not an evergreen platform like YouTube is. So that was that was the reason, one of the reasons we chose YouTube over Facebook. And like I said, Facebook's good, and anything works if you work it. I mean, that's a true story. I mean, Tim has developed a technique to where he made $1 million in GCI in a year doing nothing but FISBOs and expireds. And he has developed a 7-letter campaign to where he has people calling him. He has expireds and FISBOs calling him. He don't pick, and now you can pick up the phone and call him, but he chose not to. He wanted to do it the other way. And this 7-letter campaign, we're going to put training out there for that too. But his 7-letter campaign is unbelievable. I mean, it's like, and it takes a little while to set up, but once you get it set up, it's seamless, and it's like, holy cow! I mean, this makes so much sense, for this thing to work. But you got to work it. If you don't work, it ain't gonna work. That's the whole point of it. So, um, but Facebook seemed like the easiest path to me. I mean, as far as I'm sitting here thinking, well, I'm going to be doing videos anyway. I mean, video is the way to go. So why not learn the right way to do it and put it out there to where it lives forever, and then have that phone ringing? And that's kind of, thank goodness that's what's happened.
Yeah.
The phone's been ringing.
Awesome.
And
Well, I
that's
look
the
forward to
goal for
that.
all of y'all. We want to see that phone ring.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, it took us 7 months before we got our first phone call. Well, it took us 4 months before we got our first phone call, but it took us 7 months before we actually made the first sale. But after that, it turned into a domino effect. I mean, it was just crazy. But I think in bigger markets, especially taking out some of the um, pain, the growing pains that we went through. Because if you follow the program on the YouTube Made Simple, if you follow that program through there and do exactly what we say do and copy and paste and the whole 9 yards, I'm telling you, I think you'll speed the process up probably you'll take it in half, so where it took us 4 months to get the first phone call, it might take you might get the first phone call in the first couple of weeks. I mean, it may happen that way, especially in the market that you two are in. And I do know that let's see. Well, yeah, Christy's on here, but she don't have her camera on or have her she's muted, but I'm not sure what market she's in.
I live in Bentonville, Arkansas.
Oh, okay, that's right. I remember now.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, I bought my course right after we bought a house. So I've been moving for the last 2 weeks. So that's my excuse. Like Tom went on vacation. I've been moving and trying to get the old house set up as an Airbnb. So I'm need to be taking a course on that right now. We have Airbnb, so it's not like any anyway. We need to maximize everything, but I'm just slow getting started. So I'm
Well,
just
we
listening to what you
can't.
guys are doing.
Yeah, we can't feel sorry for Tom. He was on vacation.
I know.
Well, actually, because my wife is such a good lender, her company, she wins a trip. It's like every year, the last 10 years, we win an all expenses free trip to Cancun.
Nice.
So you can't pass that up.
No, 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 absolutely not. And I do not envy you, Christy, on moving because that is oof, ugh, I don't even want to think about it. My wife works for the federal government. She does cybersecurity for the Air Force. So she has been working remote for the past 4 years. Well, that gravy train has stopped.
Ew.
So
I'm
now
sorry.
we're trying to find her a place locally. If we can find a federal building locally that she can get into, then we can stay here. But if not, then we're going to be, she may have to wind up going back to the Pentagon, or we may have to find, some other place. I'm not sure exactly how that all is going to play out, but we'll see.
So she's required to go back into the office, but they don't have an office for her to go to?
Correct.
Oh my word.
Wow.
Yeah, and we're hearing that across the board. There is a local National Guard um, station it's brand new facility, 30,000 square foot building, $15 million is what they spent on the building. It's state of the art. They just built it. It's 2 miles from our house, and nobody's sitting in it, and they won't let anybody sit in it. And
Hmm.
it's a federal building. So
Wow.
we're like, what kind of sense does this make? She could easily have an office there and it would solve the problem. But it is technically the Army National Guard and she works for the Air Force and they don't play nice together.
No, they don't.
Yeah. So the Army is holding their, for lack of better words, they're holding to their guns and they're saying, no, we're not going to let anybody in there that's not, that doesn't fit our bill or whatever. So it's a bunch of mess, but we're trying to work around it. So we've gotten state senators involved, we've gotten congressmen involved, we've gotten, trying to get the governor involved. So we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out.
So interesting.
Yeah, it's something
It's in,
else.
Tommy's down there, isn't he? Tuberville?
Yeah, yeah. We sent an email to him 2 days ago.
Okay. He's a tough dude.
Yeah, he was
Coach.
yeah, and we both went to Auburn, so it was and Ashley has a master's degree from Auburn.
Oh,
So,
wow.
we've put in the contacts and we've got all the feelers out, so we'll see what happens.
Well, I'm going to text Elon right now and mention your name.
There you go. Her name is Ashley, and the whole thing is, Tom, you know this, Tom. She just had brain surgery 2 weeks ago. So
Right.
I'm sitting there going, if anybody deserves a medical exemption, it's her to be able to work from home.
Yeah.
But and that's not out of play yet. We just got to figure out how to get it, how to get the medical exemption. So it's just, one of those things,
I
so.
think it seems like right now they're just trying to get people back to work and cut the fat.
I
And
think so too. And I think they're
obviously
just trying
she's
to figure out who's working and who's not.
I mean, that's smart.
Yeah, I
Those are our
agree.
tax dollars going right down. A lot of those people, they're finding out, don't do anything for the government. They get the government paycheck, but they're out there working other jobs and playing golf and stuff. And so
Yeah. Oh,
they got to eliminate
100%.
they got to
Yeah,
eliminate the
listen, we're
waste.
we're we're not mad about it at all. It's like
Yeah, no.
I told Ashley has a really good attitude about it. She's like, look, we'll do what we got to do. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
But it's, and we understand exactly why they're doing what they're doing. That letter they just sent out saying, name the 5 bullet points that you did this past week. They do that anyway. They've been doing that for the last 4 years, since they work remote. So and for all these people that are in an uproar that are raising Cain about it, well, they're the ones that's not working.
Exactly.
I've got a friend that is one that's not working, and I haven't heard her complain yet, but she told me that she's got a little thing that jiggles her mouse, so it makes it look like she's working.
Oh my God.
So she literally is not working.
Wow. She has a thing that jiggles her mouse so
Yep.
that they think she's at her desk.
Yep.
Holy cow.
Imagine being the guy that invented that.
I know, right?
Mouse jiggler.
Unbelievable.
That's incredible. Well, Andy, it's always good, buddy.
Yes, sir. Anybody got anything else before we get off of here?
Well, thank you. Lord willing, I'll get a lot of work done this week and I'll be super chatty next week.
Yeah, and listen, if like I said, we do these every Tuesday at 1 o'clock. So it'll either be me or Tim or both of us or possibly Aileen, if she wants to fill in on some of these calls. We've got a lot of things in the works, just so you know, that I intend to do one more bonus module on the YouTube training. I mean, one more for right now. I've got it in the plans to film to where, if you've watched any of my videos, you know that most of my videos have custom songs in them. I don't use any of the songs. Well, I create those songs with a program called Suno, Suno. It's an AI program, and basically you can you can tell that system whatever song, you can give it lyrics. I go into Chat GPT, tell it to write me the lyrics for like I'll take my listing agreement, I'll take the description, put it in Chat GPT, tell it to write me a song in the style of, say, Taylor Swift or whatever. And then I'll take those song lyrics and put it into Suno, and it writes me a song, and it creates 2 different versions of that song. And then I pick the best one I want, or if I don't like it, I can change it. But I'm going to do a video on exactly how I do that, exactly how you can create that. And the best part about it is it's free. You can do up to 10 songs a day for free. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I loved your videos. That's hey, how'd you do that?
Yeah. But I was running into so many copyright laws with the songs, so
Yeah.
I was like, well, and then I watched Nick Krim, Nick Krim comes on and does teaching an AI for the Freedom Team, and he was talking about that Suno, and I was like, I'm gonna deep dive into that and figure out how to use it. And so I just don't even use anybody else's music anymore. I just make my own music. You can make it with lyrics or without. So you could just make an instrumental if you just wanted music playing in the background. And it's free music. It's not copyrighted. So there's no way to not get monetized or get flagged. But I had so many songs, like where on my intro, the little intro video that I had, and I had gotten flagged twice by YouTube. One of them was that they told me that if I continued to use that music, they were going to delete my channel.
Oh, wow.
And so I had to go back through in like 25 videos and replace that song. And I replaced it with some custom music, but it just didn't line up right. So I was like, well, I'm just going to eliminate this from now on. I'm just going to start using my own music that I create or that I have AI create. So, but yeah, I'm going to do that and put it out there. And then also we've got, let's see, we're trying to get the finishing touches on the Facebook organic and paid ads, and we're going to launch that as soon as we get all the videos done for that. And then we're also doing Google My Business training. We're doing video sales letter training, and we intend to do some CRM training, like some KV Core, showing how to do weekly newsletters on KV Core, how to incorporate your videos and drive people back to your YouTube channel from your weekly newsletters. So there's all kind of stuff we got coming.